Hello everybody, I am Bad Soy, the man behind the lo-fi remixes that YouTube just likes to ignore, but you guys have been blowing up the channel recently, so this is me saying a huge thank you. I started this channel really just to keep up my production skills, and you know, I figure there's no point you know, wasting space on a hard drive, so it all just kind of ends up on YouTube, and you guys really seem to love all the remixes I'm doing, things like that, so I appreciate the subs, and I figured, I appreciate everything, the likes, the comments, all that jazz, so I figured we could do a 100 subscriber special. Got the whole face reveal, all that jazz, and I figured I would break down the very first video I ever put up on the channel. It's a lo-fi remix of the song Deference for Darkness from the Halo 3 ODST soundtrack. Now I know everyone who's played that game just breathed a sigh of, like, a collective sigh of nostalgia and memory, but this is, yeah, this is the remix. I'll obviously link the whole track down in the description so you guys can check that out. But as a quick sneak preview, let's start. So that's the beginning. Let's just start there. So essentially, I wanted to start this remix out similar to the way the original track starts out. I always like to do that so people kind of get a sense of what the song sounds like before I go and mess around with it. So, you know, if you've heard the song before, you know those opening piano chords. It's iconic. I've heard the song described as Halo's ODST depression anthem, which is, I feel, pretty accurate. So, yeah, what I wanted to do, if we isolate this track, we'll keep the volume track on, obviously, is have those piano chords start it, but then chop them up a bit, which you can see all the little cuts in the audio is where I've sliced sections and kind of rearrange them. Awesome. So the other thing we did was add Gross Beat. So Gross Beat is a sick plug-in, native to FL Studio, and it's a time warp thing, and I've just got it set on a reverse curve. So essentially what that's going to do is reverse the audio, and I've just automated the effect volume in and out. So the effect's off, then it's on, then it's off again, and this is what it sounds like. Awesome. And the last thing I put on the main sample is just a tremolo, which is this section here, sorry, this plugin here. And what this does, it gives the audio that, like, pumping sound that you hear in a lot of electronic music. I put it on here just to give the whole thing a sense of rhythm. Because when you cut samples, especially if you're cutting them in a different tempo, they're never going to line up perfectly. It's never going to be perfectly in time. But you add this tremolo in, and suddenly you've got a sample that is in time, kind of, a little bit more glued together. So you can see with the audio up here, it's ducking every beat. And that's what the tremolo does. but obviously we don't want it all the way because this isn't a dance track, this is lo-fi. There are rules. There are rules. And lastly, we've just got some transitional effects. So this here is a filter sweep. So essentially what this is taking out all the high frequencies and then fading them back in. Kind of like, think you've just jumped in a pool and then you're standing up again and all the water's like kind of draining out of your ears. That is weird now that I say it out loud, but let's hit it. Let's see what it sounds like. So that's that. Now what we've got here is a silence just to break the loop up, just keep it interesting. Now you can see all these cuts, it looks a bit chaotic, but really all I've done is just separate these into main loop, then you've got a break section. Which is just a different section from the main loop so it doesn't get boring. We bring that reverse gross beat back during the main loop, just to flip it almost, like literally flip it, not just when people say flip a sample. So yeah, it's playing backwards. It's similar enough to the first one, but different, so it's not exactly the same. Lastly, we have the outro. Now here's where things get a little weird. Now this is essentially just the end of Deference to Darkness, but what I've done is this bit here is a cloned version of this track, and I've just stretched it out, as you can see there. So stretching a track out also changes its pitch, so as you can see, well, as you can hear more, so this is high, that's low. And you've got that slice right there. You can hear that little jump where the audio cuts out. Yeah, I wanted to bring back the end of the track because that to me is probably one of, well, if not the most mysterious kind of part of the track. And if you've ever played Halo ODST, you know that it's the Mombasa streets when you're just wandering around this like apocalyptic city. It's very mysterious. It's got a very eerie, mysterious aura to it, which I absolutely love. Yeah, so that's that. The last secret kind of weapon, the secret source, is RC20. So this is just a plugin that kind of tweaks the audio a little bit. You can add some noise, you can distort it. So what I've done is just give it a bit of a lo-fi flavor, I suppose. Yeah, you can see my RAM freaking out there, but that's okay. Cool, so let's go on to the drums. Let's mute all these. Sweet, so we'll start it with the kick and the snare. So this is just a really simple kick snare, kind of almost 4 on the floor. It's super repetitive, but you know, you don't want to overcomplicate things with lo-fi. It's meant to be a sort of relaxing genre, in my opinion anyway. And then we've got some percussion here, which almost doubles as hats. It's more of like a, it sounds like you're winding something up to me. And then we've got some percussion hits, some just classic lo-fi things. Every time my computer freaks out, I'm like, no. I'm doing all this on a little laptop, so I'm surprised it's running as well as it is, to be honest. And then you've got some reverse hats, so so that's really, I've got those sprinkled throughout just to differentiate sections. Just to remind you when you're listening that, like, hey, this is a new section, even though the loop's almost exactly the same. Cool, so moving along, we've got a glitch effect here. Now, glitch is a sick plugin. So I'll play it from here because this is kind of introducing every aspect of the beat. And that's kind of it's a build up, and then you're taking some things out, and that's how you keep the beat interesting. This glitch effect here is all these little modules that you kind of add in, and it messes around with the sound. My favorite bit is the re-trigger with the reverser. Re-trigger, think like you're holding the trigger on an automatic rifle, and it's just going full auto, and you're just repeating that sound. That's what a re-trigger is in really simple terms. And reversing is taking that re-trigger and then playing it backwards. So that's pretty cool. If you know a bit about music production, you probably know a lot of this stuff already, but this is the breakdown. So hope you're enjoying it so far. Cool. I guess the last aspect of the beat, you know, obviously I've got a few like little filters over the drums. If we turn them all off, actually, it'll probably sound quite a bit different. So I'll turn off all these like drum effects. So it's actually sounding quite a bit crisper. But then we gradually add all these effects on to deteriorate the sound. Because you don't want lo-fi sounding crisp, because then it's not lo-fi, it's hi-fi. I don't know why I was proud of that. That was very odd. Cool, so let's go to the 808s. Now, like, 808s, if you don't know what an 808 is, think about any rap song, and 808s are the, like, pounding bass. That's always coming in real hard. So, obviously, we don't want that, because this, like, again, it's lo-fi. So this is a really plain 808 with not much effects, like really dry, like gaining it up. Please, computer, please. No, I'm sorry. I gotta play that slide again. Damn it. Computer's playing up. I'm gonna give this one more shot just because, like, this is low-key one of my favorite parts of the track. Oh, there we go. Just that really quick slide up and then back down. It gives you that, like, ooh, something fresh, something funky. But yeah, literally, like, if we take a look at the actual, like, plug-in, obviously I'm using Serum, but it's just a really basic 808 preset from Echo Soundworks, I think. So shout out to them. I use the 808 samples in like pretty much everything. But yeah, so literally, like, the only thing that's messing around with this 808 is I've got it sidechained to the kick drum. So essentially what that means is whenever the kick drum plays, the 808's going to duck a bit so you can make room for the kick drum. The kick drum obviously needs to play, but then we're all G. So yeah, you can see from this top line here, it's just ducking the volume a little, not a lot, but enough. Yeah, as you can see, the kick is also sidechained to this second bus here. That's where the sample's going. So every time the kick hits, the sample ducks a bit in volume there as well. Same deal with the rim shot, it's ducking the melody. So yeah, this is all just to make room for the drums, because there's nothing worse than a track where the drums are overpowered and you can't hear a beat. It's all just like a mess. So the last thing, you know, it's not lo-fi unless you're adding in some samples from the thing you're trying to remix. So I've got two here. The first one is the assault rifle reload and the night vision, the in-game night vision activating is what this sounds like. So I've obviously like deteriorated the sound again quite a bit. Without the effects, it sounds, yeah, there it is. It sounds like that. And can I just say, the ODST assault rifle is, it's so good. All the guns in ODST. All right, enough of that. Back to the song. The other sample that I've used here is a sample from Buck, one of the characters. And he's saying the line, "It was one hell of a night," which, if you've played the game, is an iconic line. So let's give this a play. The volume's going to automate in there. Oh. Oh, hold up. Let's fix this. There we go. See if that does anything.
What can I say? It was a hell of a night.
Sweet. So that's the sample. Now, as you can see in the end there, it just really abruptly cuts off. That's because the saxophone was just too hard to take out of the audio, but I also wanted to leave it in because it's an iconic kind of melody. So what I did was add some reverb in. I don't know why that's all the way up there. Let's bring that down. Yeah, you automate some reverb in, and it gets rid of that little like abrupt ending and makes it super washy, kind of like you're hearing it from a really far distance. It sounds awesome, in my opinion. So this is it here.
What can I say? It was a hell of a night.
So in context with the main melody, this ends up actually sounding really cool. Like this assault rifle bit here masks that transition between the high and the low. So let's give it a shot. Hit the volume. So I obviously didn't want that completely masked because I like the abrupt change. It's a very lo-fi detuning thing to do. But having this sample come in on either side, it kind of just transitions it a little better, makes it less choppy. And then going towards the end, you have the iconic "It was a hell of a night." No, sorry, we need the saxophone. Otherwise, it's not ODST. And that's the end of the track, really. The last thing to add is some rain samples. It's just a cymatics rain sample, nothing crazy. And there you have it. You've got your lo-fi remix of Deference to Darkness. You know, if you've played ODST, it's obviously like it's raining 80% of the time. Rain is just a theme in that game, and I love it. It's very aesthetic, very pleasing to the eye, to the ears, to everything. Cool. So let's give it a little bit of a listen, and the main track will be linked down in the description. So definitely go give it a check out. Go give it a listen. But yeah, again, huge thank you to everyone who's subscribing, everyone who's listening to the remixes I'm putting out. I really appreciate it. I want to say, like, do we push for a new subscriber number? Is that a thing? I don't know, 200? I don't know, man. I'm just making music, but definitely subscribe, stick around, check out some of the other music I have on the channel, and I hope you'll have a great day. Peace.